Well, next up, I am excited to share another author's story with you. She is the author of the new Billable Hour, Bill More Hours, Be More Productive, and Still Have a Work-Life Balance. Ritu Goswamy.
Hello. Hi, Angela.
It is great to have you here, Ritu. Tell us about your book.
Sure. I wrote this book for lawyers who felt like they don't have enough time in the day to bill clients. They're just feeling like they're running out of time. And in the book, I describe my process, turning the billable hour on its head, and talking about a process where I break down a billable hour that you bill yourself as a lawyer, your own client, before you bill clients.
So we are asking everyone in the audience today to download a copy of each of the books. They might be saying right now, but I'm not a lawyer. Will they get any ideas from this book? And by the way, you know a lawyer. Send it to a lawyer you love, but download it for yourself too. What will somebody learn even if they're not a lawyer?
Sure. First, everybody does know a lawyer, and they might have a lawyer, your own lawyer, so get it to that person. But there are some time hacks in there about how to take care of yourself, how to increase your productivity, how to find that more time in the day.
And you're actually, one of your recommendations is just to bill 1 hour to yourself. Make yourself a client. Don't you feel like everybody should do that?
Yes.
Like whether you're a lawyer or not, make yourself a client, even if you have a full-time job. Like you can have a side hustle. The side hustle is you. And like, do you say an hour a day?
Yes.
Yeah, 1 hour a day. Bill yourself out. I love that strategy. So why, first of all, have you been thinking about writing a book for a long time?
Yes.
How long?
I was thinking about this as
I would ask.
I knew you were going to ask this. Years. I mean, I can go back to law school, but definitely in the last few years, I've been actively, I had a title, I was talking to people.
Was this the title?
No.
Shocker.
A few changes happened along the way. And I was talking to people who had published books. I was talking to authors who had used traditional publishers through the American Bar Association, self-publishing, and nothing seemed very doable. You know, it didn't seem to be in line with what I wanted to do with my book.
So how did you stop wishing and finally get your book done?
Well, the big thing, something did shift in me, and I knew that not writing the book was getting in the way of other things I needed to do, of clients I needed to serve, of a business that I wanted to build. I knew I needed to do this. And then when I heard about the author incubator, I think I saw a red carpet event or one of your interviews, and I was like, that's what I wanted. I wanted some guidance about how to write the book, keeping the service and the business in mind as I wrote it.
I love that. So Carol from California asks, what did you learn that you couldn't have just learned by watching YouTube videos or searching on Google? Working with the author incubator. What did you learn that you couldn't have just learned?
Wow, that's so
know.
much to say.
Carol from California.
Thank you for that question. Yeah, the thing about coaching. So in the author incubator, we're coached and we're led through this process. But the main thing is we're doing it ourselves. And so it takes a really good coach to help you figure out where your blind spots are and what was going on. What I thought was stopping me was not what you showed me. And it was like way beginning stuff. Beginning of who am I writing this for? Why am I doing this? And just learning to write for my reader and not for what I thought my reader needed. When I made that shift, everything fell into place. And there's just so much we don't know about publishing and marketing and building a business, and there's not a lot of information out there. So that's what I got out of the author incubator.
And Sonia is talking about fears, and she says, Sonia's actually one of our authors right now, by the way, so I see you, Sonia. And she says, how did you work through the fear that you weren't writing a book that would make a difference? And I'll interpret that to mean, like, what if this book isn't going to make a difference? Like, what if this isn't any good? And I think every author has the fear, like, oh my God, what if this isn't any good? How do you think you were able to work through that? She's like, I never thought that.
I want to say that I never thought that. But I think I probably thought something else, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe some other ideas like that, who am I to write this book? Again, like, why am I doing this and not something else? How did I overcome them? We're in a group, and we're working in a group, and a lot of people are expressing what's going on for them, and so you know you're not alone. And you have support all along the way. And so as long as you're following the process, you'll get to the end. There's that confidence that you'll get to the end, whatever that end is.
Do you feel like you asked me many questions?
No.
You were on every call. You always ask questions.
I felt like I didn't need to because the questions were asked. I was always listening to your answers and watching you and everything you did. And what's great about the Author Incubator is to watch you because you do whatever you teach, you actually do. And that meant a lot to me. So if you're teaching a way to run a program or write something and then I could just watch you do it, I'm like, okay, got it.
Yeah, there's like that double layer of learning.
Yes.
But I think like the people who show up to the calls, ask the questions, like, and being able to, like you're doing here, Sonia, even though we have a call at 4:00, so I'll talk to you in half an hour. But like showing up and saying, I'm afraid, I feel like that's such a huge turning point, and saying it in front of other authors who also have their own fears. Maybe it's fears they don't have enough time or fears they're not a good enough writer or whatever it is. But knowing like, hey, all these other people are doing it and they're scared, maybe I could do it too. So talk a little bit about how the group might have helped you overcome any of your fears or doubts.
So again, because we're all doing it, we're all doing the same thing, and there are amazing people in the group. There's such a diverse group of authors, and so it's kind of like you're learning so much along the way, and it's like if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's the best kind of peer pressure, I think. So I'm going to ask you one more question, and this one's from Rebecca from Pittsburgh. And Rebecca says, what's the most common mistake that you've seen authors make that would stop them from completing a book? You've seen a lot of authors complete their books, but maybe you have friends, or even when you were thinking about writing a book and didn't get it done. What do you think is the thing that stands in people's way?
I think stopping. When it gets hard, because those are the moments in writing a book and in life where we have the opportunity to transform and to get to the next level. It's just a signal our bodies, our minds are telling us to level up, to show up, right? To show up for what we're meant to do in this world. And so I think when we get those little feelings of maybe the doubt, it's important to get help and get past them.
And if you were to offer one tip or hack maybe that you share with your clients, who I know are mostly lawyers, but what's one productivity tip or hack you can share with our audience?
Meditate. So
everybody loves that.
So everyone, now I can talk about it mainstream, and no one's going to think I'm weird. But in my book, I break down the hour into 0.1 increments, 6 minutes. And so 6 minutes a day. And I think that people think you have to meditate all day for lots of hours, but consistency.
On a mountaintop.
On a mountaintop, exactly. You can meditate wherever you are, and it's free. You don't need anything, but you can use an app. My lawyers like to use apps. But 6 minutes per day, just regularly concentrating on your breathing. So just breathe.
So 6 minutes, that's all you're asking for, and that will make us more productive.
Yes.
I love it. Just one of the many ideas you will get from Ritu Goswamy's book, The New Billable Hour. Bill more hours, be more productive, and still have work-life balance. You can get it right now at no cost from Amazon, and make sure you send it to a lawyer who you at least like. Thank you so much for joining us today.